Good evening, everyone. Good evening to everyone of my listeners from India, and good morning, or good afternoon, or good night, as the case may be, for those who have joined or those who will be joining from across the world. So this is the episode number two of the YouTube live session, Talk ERP hashtag Talk ERP with Ram. This is episode two. So today in this session, mm, so we are going to take a set of questions sent by one of the my LinkedIn connects. His name is Avinash Mishra. So he had sent me three questions, which we'll be looking at those questions, and I will try to answer as much as possible. Just a quick background about my interaction with Avinash. So I and Avinash had a detailed telephonic call last week. I think it was on Sunday. He had an interview. He had a couple of interviews lined up over the weekend, over this week. One on Monday and one on Wednesday, and he wanted to bounce off a few ideas and few pointers with me. So we had a nice discussion, uh, uh, and based on that discussion, the he sent me three questions to answer. So without any delay, let me take these three questions which Avinash had sent. So the question number one that Avinash had asked was, what are the challenges one can face while moving ahead from custom ERP to structured ERP? That was question number one. Question number two is, why is it necessary for someone to have a certification in Oracle apps or slash Dynamics 365 slash SAP HANA to be able to get a job in those areas? I think the question is, what is the importance of certification? And the third question, what he had asked is, what is the career prospects of an ERP consultant? So these are the three questions that he had asked me. In case you have any questions, please type it so that I can address them. If possible, the time for this webcast or the live session is, I have planned for 30 minutes. So we'll try to restrict the session to that 30 minutes, and while taking as many number of questions as possible. Uh, so the okay, let me take the first question. What are the challenges one can face while moving from custom ERP to structured ERP? Okay, so this is a quick question. Quick. This is a simple question, I think, in my opinion, and I can answer it quite fast. The When you talk of custom ERP, essentially what you are doing is you are you are developing some custom applications to suit the business processes of the customer. So effectively, what you are doing, you are not. This is not actually an ERP per se. It is just that customer had some processes, so which he was doing probably manually, and now you are trying to move it into a technology space. So there's no additional value. There's no process improvement happening here. What you are effectively doing is you are taking the current process and just copying that process using a technology. That's all. So there is no additional value from ERP in the situation of custom ERP. From the consultant's perspective, consultant will learn how a particular company is doing a particular process. He is not going to learn what is the best practices. He or she are not going to learn what are the best practices in each of the areas, what are the additional processes that can be configured, what are the additional features that are available, uh, uh, how do other companies handle the specific processes. So they don't learn anything. But when you go for a structured ERP, you are essentially going in for uh, uh, you learn additional skills. You learn negotiation. You learn trying to understand the requirement and trying to identify the best solution. You learn what are the best features which are used in other countries, and you also learn what are the best practices in each of the applications. So there's a lot of things that you learn when you are going to implement a structured ERP. Also, you also learn to get the buy-in from the customer, because you are changing the customer's processes effectively. You are expecting, you are hoping that the customer will adapt to the ERP, whereas in a customized ERP scenario, you are adapting ERP to the customer's process. So this is a significant difference between implementing a custom ERP and implementing a standard structured ERP. Uh, Uh, and I have worked in both of them. I've seen both of them, and I can safely say that unless you are a huge company where customized processes are designed based on your specific needs, in most of the companies you can effectively move the customer to the structured ERP process. The trick is to give customer multiple options on their requirements. All the requirements in a good ERP system will provide multiple ways in which you can meet those customers' requirements. So a smart consultant should provide options to the customer for every one of the requirements, and also learn negotiation, negotiate with the customer to push him to accept your solution, and also to push him to reject some of the requirements which may be based on their current processes. So a good consultant will learn negotiation skills when he is implementing a structured ERP. All in all, structured ERP is always better. In addition to these two, there is a challenge with the custom ERP. The customer is always dependent on the guy who developed this ERP. His career goals and options and expectations may change. He will stop working on the custom application that he developed, and he will decide to move on to some another career prospect. So then what is going to happen is you are going to, the company is going to be saddled with an ERP application without any support. So that's a challenge in custom ERP. So standard ERP means you are getting global support, global support, global consulting benefits, and global best practices. So a standard ERP, these are the factors which differentiate a custom from a standard ERP. So the mindset has to change. Mindset has to change from providing a solution to learning best practices, understanding how to provide options, as well as selling the solution to the customer. So these are the difference between a structured ERP and a custom ERP. So Avinash, did that explanation was it satisfactory? I also see that one more person has joined. Can you introduce yourself? And do you have any questions to ask? In that case, please ask the question. Please type the question so I'll try to take that. So if you are there, Avinash, please type it in the chat whether my answer is satisfactory for you. Now I'll move on to the next question. The next question is, what is the importance of certification? See, what is happening, there's a lot of demand for these package application consultants, like, and these three, whatever you have mentioned, Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle Apps. Yes, you can type the question, I'll take it. There are, so Avinash has said that he has a question. Please type the question, and I will answer that. And coming back to the certification, so there are a lot of requirements. There's a lot of demand for consultants in these three applications. You can see a lot of demands in LinkedIn. You can see a lot of demands in other applications. Naukri.com will be sending you a lot of advertisements, job postings. So there's a lot of demand for these kind of consultants. So the companies who are recruiting and the customers will need a way of uh, filtering the quality of the consultants, because everybody who has just worked on the application will say that I have experience. So certification is a way of filtering the consultant, that they have the basic level of knowledge which is required to implement these applications. They know the product. They have been certified by the product vendor that these consultants know the application. So that actually gives the employer as well as the customer a confidence in the knowledge and skills of the consultant. So that's a main benefit of certification. And also the process of learning, getting the certification, understanding the it will because to get the certification you have to go through a process where you have to take some classes. There you may have to do some hands-on experimentation. All these things will teach the consultants. Most probably, without the certification, consultants will think that he knows the application, but he may hardly know the application. After the certification, also he will not know the application fully, but he is expected to know better than average uh, uh, consultants where who has not taken the certification. So that's the advantage of certification. It acts as a filtering criteria. So there's a question here. Uh, what about the ERP used in core engineering industries where there are a lot of critically complex processes involved? See, obviously, in that case, you need customization. The whole point in my discussion, this is related to the earlier question, structured versus unstructured custom ERP. The obviously there are exceptions. The question which you have asked about core engineering industries, they are all exception. They may, it's not that all the ERP application meet all the requirements of all the customers. So wherever it is not feasible, some customization have to be done. But from the consulting perspective, uh, uh, since the world is moving towards structured ERP application, consultants should try to move towards structured ERP application. That is the point of view. Uh, so we covered two questions, and so essentially we covered a question on custom ERP versus structured ERP. What are the benefits to the consultant, and what are the new skills the consultant have to learn? So we said that negotiation skills is important, and ability to give options. Understanding the requirements clearly and ability to give the options is important. And structured ERP means the customer is adapting to the ERP, unlike custom ERP where ERP is adapting to the customer's process. So there is process change involved. So that means that consultants will have to do real consulting when it goes to structured ERP. The second question was on the importance of certification. Certifications, two advantages. From the customer perspective, it acts as a filtration criteria. From the consultant perspective, they definitely will learn much more than they already know, because all these structured ERPs are based on uh, real concepts and theories like MRP or advanced supply chain planning or supply chain management best practices or global financial best practices. So these ERPs, structured ERPs, are based on a lot of advanced concepts in each of the areas they cover. So if as a consultant, if you are going through the certification, you will get to know a lot about the processes as well, in addition to to getting the certification. So these are the two advantages of certification: learning new skills and learning negotiation skills to sell the solution to the customer. Now, coming to the third question, very interesting question which Avinash has asked is what are the career prospects of an ERP consultant? So, I will. It's an interesting topic. I have made one presentation on the career prospects of an ERP consultant. Probably I'll put it up as a separate presentation in YouTube sometime later. But uh, in short, let me summarize that presentation for you. Uh, in ERP, you have to look at two different streams. One is a technical stream, and one is a functional stream. Now, if you are going to take the technical stream and want to become an expert, you have to be fully involved in technology throughout your life, especially now with the technology changing so rapidly right in front of my eyes. Over the last so many years of experience, I have seen character based ERP system. I have seen client server based ERP system. I have seen web enabled ERP system. I have seen multiple versions of web enabled ERP system with new process and features. And finally, I have seen cloud ERP systems. So the technology is rapidly changing. Even the database has been, Oracle database itself has been changing rapidly. So if you are in the technical stream, you have to keep on updating yourself with the new knowledge. Within a short span of time, your whatever you learned earlier will not become of any use. For example, if you had learned PLSQL in the age of Oracle Cloud, PLSQL is not a required skill at all. But in case of Oracle on-premise, PLSQL is a most on-demand skill. So technical consultant means the set of skills that the consultant need to learn, it keeps on changing, and that puts a lot of pressure on the consultant. But on the other side, if you are ready to take this challenge, you will be in a lot of demand, because the main benefit for you is you have seen the evolution of the application. So your context and your understanding of the new technology is much broader than a junior consultant who is learning a new technology. So so you can become a better architect, technical architect. You can become a better database architect. You can become a better data scientist, if you are planning to go in that stream, technical stream. But technical stream, you should focus on technical stream if you have a good flair for learning new things, and you have an interest in continuing to learn new things, as they change. For example, now the technology has already changed, and we are now talking of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, IIoT, microservices, advanced API. So many new technologies, cloud computing. So many new technologies are already coming up, and the world is talking a different language. So the technical consultant will keep on having to learn new technologies and new jargons and new language, to grow. So so that is about the technical stream. So if you are passionate about technology, I know people who are. So technical stream is a good one for you, passionate for technology and passionate for learning new technology. So technical stream is good for you. Coming to the functional stream, the standard career path of a ERP consultant is you start as a junior consultant, then you go as a senior consultant, then you grow as a team lead, then functional lead, then you functional lead, and then team lead, and then project manager, then delivery manager, and then you go into broader areas in the organization, like man manager, personnel manager, or some other areas. Or you could actually move from a functional lead, and you can move into sales and marketing area. So you can go into pre-sales and marketing application. So if you have a flair for marketing, then there is an option for you where if you understand the product really well, the team needs you to be available to sell the product, provide good solution. I know that there are some exceptionally talented sales people who like know the application like the back of their hand, working in Oracle, because my experience is with Oracle. So that is a that's a career opportunity if you are not interested in going too much into implementing in the customer side and all. You can actually go and move into pre-sales. So consultant, then functionally, then either pre-sales or to move to the in the implementation stream itself as a team lead, and then you can go as a project manager. And once you reach a project manager stage, you would have piled up about 15 years of experience, you know 10 to 15 years of experience in ERP. And if you manage a couple of projects well, that means that you will understand a lot of stuff, because you will understand pre-sales, because you will have to interact with the pre-sales guys. You will understand solutioning, you will understand selling the solutions to the customer. You will understand the customer's business process very thoroughly. So many new knowledge you will learn if you are going in the project manager. And from project manager, it is like this, your career opportunities opens up. So you have an option of becoming a delivery manager and go up in the career in the same company. You can also have an opportunity to become a subject matter expert and move in the same company. You also have an opportunity to like I did. I moved from a project manager to a CIO in a company where ERP has been implemented. So you have a CIO path. I know of somebody who has actually moved into finance and he has become the DGM and GM in finance department. So that's another career option. Or you can also become ERP evangelist, um, or uh, or you can become ERP architect, solution architect. You can become ERP auditor, where you provide advisory and audit services to customers who are already implementing ERP. So you can do implementation review, pre-implementation support, and post-implementation reviews, and suggest solutions to improve the process. So your career options are like very broad once you get into the functional stream in ERP. Uh, so in summary, from a functional consultant, you can move into the lead role, and from there you can move to the project manager role, and then you have choices which you can look for, where you can move into, like I said, delivery manager, solution architect, matter expert, ERP evangelist, CIO, finance, head of finance, uh, or independent consultant, like a freelance consultant, which I am doing now. So there are so many options available, because the knowledge what you are talking about, the knowledge is a permanent knowledge. The business process of every company has been the same through ages, and that is going to be remaining the same going forward also. It's not going to change. Only the tools used to run the business, like some technologies, are going to change. But other than that, the way they are going to do the purchase requisition, the way they are going to do the procurement process, the way they are going to do inventory tracking, all those things are going to be the same. So to that extent, uh, as a functional consultant, there's a lot of potential for growth as a career, either in the area of ERP or connected to the area of ERP. So so those are some of the career options. I hope I've been able to answer your questions reasonably well. I see that there are a couple of questions here. How is digital technologies, for example, SaaS, going to impact ERP industry both for consultants and clients? SaaS is going to be the future because all the biggies are now moving their products to SaaS. I mean, product to SaaS. So that means that customers will have to follow suit. Now, nobody is even talking about on-premise nowadays. Uh, uh, so there are certain challenges with SaaS where you cannot do customization and all. But I don't see SaaS. I don't see on-premise fully. You may see hybrid with most of the applications on SaaS, and a couple of critical applications where you need customization. They'll be on-premise. But other than that, I see SaaS is going to be the future, and SaaS consultants are going to be in a lot of demand, and there's a lot of there are a lot of opportunities for SaaS consulting because on-premise consultants are moving towards SaaS. So that is one set of opportunity, and new customers are coming into SaaS. That's another set of opportunity. So SaaS consultants are going to have a lot of opportunity, and if you are a SaaS consultant, my suggestion would be you should be in the at least in the top 4 5 ERP companies like Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, SAP, or others. I mean, there are others. These are the top three companies. And there is Infor, then there is Epicor, then there is Sage, then there are others, Acumatica. So many are there. So all of them are offering SaaS solution. So it's one thing is to understand how the SaaS solutions work, and the second thing is to focus on one SaaS vendor and then learn their products really thoroughly. Uh, from the perspective of customers, SaaS benefits a lot because on-premise means you have to buy all those infrastructure, servers and machines, and then software licenses, all those things. So you have to have a big IT team just to manage your infrastructure. So in clients when they move to SaaS, all these are gone. Everything is taken by the cloud solutions vendor. So to that extent, from the technical term which is used is that ERP costs move from capex to opex. So in OPEX means you can track it much more closely than when you're doing a CapEx. Mostly, almost all the budgets will be for OPEX. So you can put budgetary controls. You can have ownership, individual ownership of various tasks and various areas. So it is beneficial to customer, that movement from capex to opex. So customer base benefits with SaaS. Consultants definitely benefits with SaaS. Only challenge as of now, pure SaaS, is that customization is not possible. So that from the perspective of consultant, what we discussed earlier, answer to point one, it stands. Consultant will need to learn the art of selling solutions to the customer, because since customization is not possible, customer has to accept the solution provided by the vendor, by the consultant. And I've seen many consultants fail there because they know one way of doing things and the customer will not accept that way of doing things, and they are not able to answer many questions from the customer. So and they'll say this is the only way to do it and all that, that challenge is there. So a good consultant will continue to learn. Good consultant will never say uh, any absolute answer. He'll say, okay, let me go check, do my due diligence, and come back. And he will go back and do a considered analysis. He will talk to people, and then come back with a clear solution which is acceptable to the customer. So that's it. Uh, uh, so we looked at three, in fact, four questions from which was asked by Avinash. The question number one was custom ERP versus structured ERP. Question number two was why the need of certification. So from the consultant's perspective, certification teaches him the concepts as well as mm, mm, you know teaches him the product features. So that's a benefit from the consultant perspective for certification. And from the perspective of customer, certification gives them a filtration criteria. And the third question which was asked was about career path. We discussed in detail both the career path of the technical consultant as well as the career path for a functional consultant. And final question which we discussed was about the digital technologies, how SaaS can help the customer as well as the consultant. So with that, so we have overshot our target. It's already 35 minutes now. So with that, we come to the end of this session on Talk ERP with Ram. So this video I will be updating and uploading in YouTube. I will edit the first part where 5 minutes we were just testing. That part I will edit, remove, and then I will review, and then I will upload it in a couple of days. And once it is uploaded, then I will inform everybody on LinkedIn. I hope the episode 2 of Talk ERP with Ram, hashtag Talk ERP with Ram, was useful. I would love to know your feedback. Please comment in YouTube. Please raise your comments. In case you have any questions, you can put them in the as comment in the YouTube video. And also, please do not forget to subscribe to my video. We are going to have this Talk ERP with Ram session every week going forward. And every week, as of now, we will fix this time on Thursday at 8 o'clock in the evening India time. So, so you can ask your questions, and I will be able to. I'll be in fact delighted to answer your questions. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. So with that, we come to the end of this video. Thank you, and have a good night.